There we go. Y'all should be able to hear me now. New setup, bro. Wagwan YouTube. It's BK Uncle. Sub to become a youngsties. Welcome to the reunion. Right here we got woman discovers her grandfather's horrifying secret. Y'all too old, like grandfather with horrifying secrets, man. Come on, bro. Why are you doing crime at an old age like this? And I already said this before. I'm gonna say it again. I don't see no colored folks, so this looks like the average Joe. Cause you know, I don't want to stereotype. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. But you know how certain colored people be doing certain colored things, and it leads to certain. Yeah. Let's see what's up.
Ivan, step out here.
You got a warrant for your arrest.
Also, I got a new setup, so that's why everything's messing up. If I have any errors, y'all gotta let me know.
So it's for murder charges.
This is 60-year-old Elaine Gowan. She is briefly seen here leaving this apartment complex with a briefcase. This is the last time she would ever be seen alive.
911, what's the address for your emergency?
So we were driving down the road to go shooting, and there is a dead body on the side of the road.
This cold case would turn out to be far more complicated and even more disturbing than they could have ever imagined.
When me and her broke up, she moved in with a guy, and he tried to mess with her.
And all I know is his first name's Sam. They said we told her it was a bad deal with.
You already know he did it, man. He don't got not one non-guilty look between those eyes. You already know he did it.
February 13th, 2023, Elaine Gowan was seen leaving her longtime job at Sugar's Diner. She had just told her daughter over a text message that she was on her
I'm on my way to pick up things from Mike's house. We'll be back to work after.
To pick up some things from her friend Mike, who she had recently moved in with after breaking up with her ex-boyfriend, Sam Bremer, only a week earlier. Strangely, she would specify that her co-worker at Sugar's Diner would be the one to drive her there. However, as Elaine left her workplace, no co-worker would show up. Instead, strangely, her ex-boyfriend Sam would be the one to pick her up. Hours would go by,
bro.
but Elaine would never show as to where
No, like, come on, bro. If you got an ex, you really gonna pull up to her job because you still love her? Bro. Like, I get it.
Very strange coming from Elaine, as she almost never texted, usually resorting to phone calls. And
I don't mean to keep pausing, but is it like, bro, white? I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna speak my mind. White people look like robots.
Apparently, after leaving her ex-boyfriend, Sam Bremer, a week earlier, she had stayed with her new friend, Mike Brockman, a man her family claimed had likely assaulted her the night before she disappeared. This shined a suspicious light on both of the men she was involved with, so police would bring in both Sam and Mike for interrogation and see if they could find any leads. Mike was a friend of Elaine's for interrogation and see if they could find any leads. Mike was a friend of Elaine's who met her at Sugar's and became very close over time. It was still unclear to officers what happened to Elaine. At this point, for all they know, she could have just gone MIA and taken a break from her stressful life. However, if anyone would have the clue...
No! One of those... No. One of those men know what happened, and I'm pretty sure... I don't mean to be racist. Sam did it! And I'm not gonna sit here in front. We're 4 minutes in and I'm already knowing Sam did it. There's nothing to talk about.
I mean, as you know, I talked to you on Monday. Or Wednesday, I guess, was the first day I talked to you. I had received information from some of the family that you and Eileen were possibly in a relationship, or kind of sort of, she may live with you for a few days or a week or so, but if you could just kind of go before Monday. Just kind of tell us how you guys know each other, how she ended up out there at your place, that kind of thing, and then we'll kind of move from there.
She was a waitress at Sugar's, and I knew her from in there, and I talked to her before and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she told me, I don't know, it was like on Tuesday or Wednesday night, that she got kicked out and she needed a place to stay. I said, well, you can stay at my place for a couple of days. I think it was Friday. She called me and she said, I won't be coming back. She says, we're getting back together, her and her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And all I know is his first name's Sam.
Yeah, I feel like Mike was not part of this at all. Her boyfriend, he didn't even know, he probably didn't even know that they broke up. Oh my, yeah, Sam, he did it, bro. Look at him!
Okay.
And
He did it, bro.
so I'm back out. But you gotta be gone Monday because I can't have this. I'm single. I don't want anything like this going on.
Two initial thoughts can be made upon hearing Mike's story. On one hand, it seems like Sam was back together with Elaine, so Sam would be a much stronger person of interest, as he'd likely been the last person to see her.
Has anybody said anything to you that Eileen was saying anything about you? Have you heard anything about her making any statements about you and your...
I'm not gonna lie, bro. This cuz insane, dog. If I was like, hey, don't take it from me, but some higher species, some higher being is telling me just cut it, bro. I would have cut it. By then, like, hairline is just going straight up at a 90-degree angle. Not even 90 degree. I'll say that's a obtuse angle right there.
No.
Not to be rude or nothing.
So you haven't heard that she may have made a statement that you possibly assaulted her while she was out there?
No.
Okay. That statement was made to a couple people that you supposedly laid down on her bed with her and spooned her from behind. Is that?
No.
Can you tell me, is that any of that?
Now, this is why I don't like interrogation rooms, bro. Why are you asking this man these questions? Don't y'all have the DNA? Can't y'all see, like, bro, isn't that how they do it? I understand this is an interrogation room. They're trying to get the truth out of him, and if they can't, they're going to send him to jail with evidence. But do y'all have evidence that he, you know? Otherwise, why are you asking this? I'm pretty sure they don't have evidence. They probably don't have evidence, because why would they be asking him this question? Because they would know that it's not true.
Well, concerning, considering it would be unlike Elaine to make up blatant lies of this magnitude. However, with little to no evidence, other than a few rumors coming from her friends, police can't harp over these allegations and decide to wrap Mike's questioning up. At this point, Mike is still considered to have potential involvement in Elaine's disappearance, but with a lack of leads, they direct their attention to the only other potential suspect, Elaine's ex-boyfriend, Sam Bremer.
Yeah, this is Detective Dyer. I'm the sergeant that you talked to on the phone. My name's Ted Roberts. I'm a sergeant.
You know, I was on the phone with you.
Let's get him
I was the
big.
last person
I
to
don't
see
know
her
what he's
off.
saying in my
I
chat.
didn't say
man.
that.
Come on
Yep.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you sure did.
I said you were the last person that saw her before she went missing.
Sam wasted no time adding more suspicion onto his name. The phone recording shows that the detective never mentioned Sam being the last to see Elaine alive. Elaine has been missing for less than 48 hours at this point. This would only mark the beginning of Sam's unsettling choice of words during the interview.
As you said that, I got the phone. I said, oh, no, I want them to arrest me so I can have a lawyer.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's I think you misheard me there. I got it recorded. I'll have to go back and listen to it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not what I said. But I mean, basically, we got a crazy deal here where Eileen is evidently, her family and everything else, she's never done this kind of thing before. She's never just took off and gone. They all know
What she does is she comes to me, and she moves him. She's moved him with me 4 or 5 times.
Uh-huh.
But usually when she moves him with me, she stays away from home.
Yeah, because they said they talk every day. The daughter and her talk
If they
every
need
day
something,
by
they need
on the
something.
phone or whatever she says. Yeah.
If they need something, then they'll get hold of her.
Okay.
Just like when she got arrested for DWI, she went to jail, they finally bailed her up. What'd they do? They took her and dropped her off at the bar.
Okay.
And she was homeless.
Okay. If you could, I just need to know what went on Monday morning. What happened Monday morning with you?
She texted me
Okay.
and wanted to know if I would come and get her. Because one of her friends supposedly was supposed to come and get her. And supposedly they ran out of gas. So.
Did she tell you the friend's name or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I got there.
Look how this dude is holding his melon. He's like, oh, I already know he's about to lie. Cause he is, bro. He is. He's about to lie.
I pulled up, she gets in the truck. We take off, run out to this, supposedly the one that tried to do something with her.
Mm-hmm.
And drops her off there.
I might be a detective. Notice how Sam is the only one that brought up Mike's name. Mike didn't bring up Sam's name until they questioned him about it. Sam is guilty of rip from that alone. Why are you bringing up somebody else's name when you know, obviously he knows something happened to Eileen. That's why he's in the interrogation room. Why would he bring up Mike's name? He's trying to deflect. He's trying to get, you know what I'm saying, get out the spotlight. He doesn't want to be seen as a murderer.
This statement adds more weight to Elaine's allegations towards Mike. If Mike did do these things to Elaine, then moving out and staying with Sam would be completely logical. On top of his statement, what Sam is about to reveal to detectives will make the allegations.
She sent that text at 7:58. When did she die? I might be a detective. I gotta remember the
much
time
harder
she died.
to.
He raped me. She sent that it was Monday. It was the day before she died. I think she died on February 14th. So this could be it could be Mike, but I'm still leaning towards him.
Dismiss and place all the suspicion back on
could be
Mike.
But you said you dropped her off in front of Mike's house.
Yeah.
And you watched her walk into the.
All she did was she got out and she walked in front of the truck. And she walked in front of the truck. I went and turned and that's when I left.
Okay, so you didn't see her get in the house, anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
So if she had walked away from there. I mean, that's quite a ways away from your apartment complex. I wonder how she would have gotten to you.
6.7 miles.
Her friend was supposed to come and pick her up.
Yeah, she did not. Nah. There's no way she ran away after that.
After that, he drove off, assuming she was to be picked up by one of her friends. Fortunately, police can easily cross-reference these claims using surveillance footage. At this point, the majority of the CCTV.
Man, this is why you stop doing crime, cause when you do crime, they got you in every different type of angle, man. Like, you can't get away. They have 9 different. I know this is 9 different cameras because I play Minecraft and they got 9 different boxes in the crafting table. That's how I know.
So detectives quickly wrapped up Sam's interview so that they could further investigate his claims. Additionally, the detective would apologize for assuming Sam's earlier word choice was suspicious. After nearly 48 hours of compiling the surveillance footage from around the town, officers managed to put together a complete timeline of Sam and Elaine's car ride.
That's what I said. I knew it was
At
different
8:30 a.m. on February 13th, Elaine would patiently wait at her work, Sugar's, for Sam to pick her up. Elaine needed a ride to go and purchase a new apartment since Mike had kicked her out. She would tell her boss and daughter that a friend was picking her up because she didn't want anyone to know her and Sam were back together. Elaine and Sam would first drive to her mother's apartment, Dudley Courts. She would be seen carrying a suitcase-like object out from her mother's apartment, then leaving with it. This would turn out to be a safe containing $1,200, which she had planned to use as a down payment for an apartment. At 9:30 a.m., they would drive directly to the Sherwood apartment complex to purchase the apartment. However, the complex happened to be closed, so they were unable to purchase anything. This is where the timeline starts to deter from Sam's claims in the interrogation room. From 9:45 to 10:30 a.m., Sam's car can be seen driving all across town. He went in multiple circles and even made a quick stop to Burger King at 10:30. However, he never drove Elaine to Mike's house like he had claimed. In fact, Sam's car can be seen driving in the opposite direction to Mike's house the entire morning. This is concerning, but it would only get worse. For the next 2 hours, Sam's truck goes off the grid. It's completely unknown where he went, and no CCTV cameras had managed to capture his location. Luckily, at 1 p.m., his truck would appear back on the same streets he circled on for hours that morning, and eventually, he would make his way back to his own home at the Cottonwood apartment complex. But things were different in all the recordings past 1 p.m. Elaine was no longer with Sam. Cameras had clearly captured that Sam was nowhere near Mike's house.
What did I tell y'all, man? Intuition. I knew Sam got rid of her. I don't know what he did with her, but I know he got rid of her.
Entire day, so why would he feel the need to lie about where he dropped Elaine off? Exactly. This footage paints Sam out to look awfully suspicious. And while both Sam and Mike have some strong dirt to their name, Sam's clear lies convince officers to bring him back to the station the very next day.
Test her below the belt. Test her below the belt for DNA. I bet you're not going to get Mike's DNA.
This very interview would spark a months-long game of cat and mouse involving a high-speed pursuit, unsettling clues, and a chilling discovery. But before we get to that, let me tell you about today's sponsor. In care or from Bremer every all on the ship staff for your. That said, let's get back to Sam Bremer, who had just been brought back to the interrogation room to explain the inconsistencies in his alibi.
The other day when we were in here, you told me that you got a phone call from her and you went to pick her up from her. So if you could do me a favor and just kind of go through that timeline again. We know that it was somewhere right around at 8:30. So if you can just kind of go through that timeline again as far as...
I'm not too sure on the time.
Okay.
But anyway, she texted me that morning, and I didn't text her back. I called her, and she wanted to know if I would come and get her, because some girl was supposed to pick her up, and she ran out of gas. So I went and picked her up, and she got in the truck. I left, and she wanted to talk to me about helping her get in the apartment. Because she lived in the same apartment building I did, but she didn't pay her rent, so she got kicked out. So, but she didn't want to go home right away. So me and her just went right down Broadway, and then she wanted to stop at her mom's house. I stopped at her mom's house, and she was in there for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. She come out of there, got back in, and then we was going back down Broadway, just talking some more. And she promised me, she wanted me to drop her back off at his house. But she made me to promise I wouldn't do nothing to him, and I told her I promised. As a matter of fact, when we get there, we just get out. You walk in front of the truck, I'll go turn around and I'll leave. And she says, okay.
Okay, so you went up there, you dropped her off, then what'd you do?
And as soon as I pulled up, and she didn't want me to go in the driveway in case he was there.
Okay.
And she got out of the truck. When she got out of the truck, she walked in front of the truck, and that's when I went straight, turned around.
Because it makes sense to bring this lady back to a house that she supposedly, allegedly got raped at. Mike, you're not making sense, man. If you know that she got raped, why would you take her back to the same house that it happened at? That doesn't sound like, or not even if it wasn't the same house and I wasn't listening close enough, why would you take her back to the same man that did that? Pack him up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's straight on.
So you went back down to the highway, went back down to Kingsville?
You left her there?
Huh?
You left her there?
Yeah.
Or you...
No, she got out of the truck. She didn't want me to come in.
Just a second ago, you said she went in, grabbed clothes, came back out to your truck, and you guys left again.
No. That was at her mom's house.
He he doing this emo. He got caught up. He's getting caught up.
Clearly, Sam is lying about where he was the day of Elaine's disappearance. The detectives know it, and it seems like Sam is starting to realize he won't be able to keep up his fake story for much longer.
Man.
Even after being told that cameras show him nowhere near Mike's house the entire day, Sam insists on his story that he did in fact drop Elaine off at Mike's house. With this, the detectives would take a brief break from the room to watch the footage over again, just to triple check that Sam is 100% lying. And to nobody's surprise, the footage showed Sam on the opposite side of town during the time he claims to have been at Mike's.
So you didn't go home, you went over to Omaha, it looks like. Do you remember what you did or who you saw?
I don't remember going home.
Where'd you go?
I told you I went straight home. I don't remember going home.
Well, the camera doesn't lie. It's your truck and it's your license plate number.
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't.
At 36th to Broadway at 9:28 a.m. Going west toward 480. And then 1 hour later, you're coming back from Omaha and you're going eastbound coming back into Council Bluffs. 1 hour later.
No, we're going home.
Where'd you go?
I went straight home.
Sam is stuck. All Sam has left is to simply reject everything the detectives tell him. They know Sam isn't telling the truth, but why he's not telling the truth is what remains to be seen. However, with Sam seemingly
But what he's doing wrong is he should not even say that he's going home. You're in an interrogation room. They're gonna use that against you in court. What you should have did, I'm not supporting him, but if you're gonna be a criminal, bro, be a smart criminal. You shouldn't even be in it. You're not arrested. You shouldn't even be talking to them. If you're not arrested, don't talk to the police. You don't have to talk to them. It's as simple as that, bro. Get a lawyer.
Uncooperative, all detectives can do. But fortunately, letting Sam back onto the streets would lead them to the exact evidence that they were looking for. While law enforcement was working away at this case, another investigative group would be working in the dark. Elaine's family. Everyone held hope that Elaine was still alive, but with time passing, her family was demanding answers. So, to figure this out for themselves, Elaine's son, Jack, would show up to Sam's door that same night, and he would pound on the door, and upon opening, Jack would ask the simple question, "What the hell did you do to my mom?" In Jack's words, Sam stared at him as if he had seen a ghost and then shut the door in his face. Sam panicked. Whatever he did to Elaine, people were starting to catch on. Police would locate a drunken Sam at his local bar.
I'm here for you, man. Tell me what's going on. Why are you feeling the way you're feeling?
My girlfriend, it was like a week ago, me and her broke up. She moved in with a guy, and apparently he raped her.
What's his name?
The only thing I know, he goes by Mike. Me and her broke up. She didn't have a place to go. She moved in with him. She told me Friday he tried to mess with her. So I called my son and see if he can move back in, because he kicked us out. So I called my son and see if he can move back in with her. And then I went to his house, got her stuff, took her to my son's. And then the next morning we went to work, and then she went right back to him. So I don't know.
He don't even keep his story straight.
To your
she went back to him. You dropped her off there, right or wrong. He don't even keep his, yeah, bro. Yo.
I would like for you to talk to a medical professional. Okay, I don't want to have to drag you up to the hospital, but I most certainly will. I think based off of what the granddaughter has told us tonight, and kind of the.
Oh, she call you?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, shit.
She was crying when you went to talk to her, but she's.
Oh really?
Yes. She was very emotional.
Her best friend and aunt are currently at the apartment because of what you said.
Wow.
Based off of what they have told me tonight, I'm going to give you one of two options. You can go up willingly and talk to a medical professional tonight.
Okay.
Or I can take you up there and you'll stay there for 72 hours.
Wow.
Sam's mental state was clearly deteriorating. Whatever happened to Elaine, regardless of his involvement, was really getting to him. Following this, Sam would be placed in a psychiatric facility for the next 2 days, where he would undergo therapy and psychiatric care. During these 2 days, detectives would aim to gather more intel on the case, this time by interviewing the family of Elaine and Sam.
They were good when they weren't drinking, especially when she wasn't drinking. She'd bicker, she'd argue, they start arguing, it just escalate. Next day they were fine. They go to bed angry.
Did you ever see it get physical?
No, never seen it physical. He told me she grabbed him by her neck a couple times, but that was about it.
Okay. Why would he grab her by the neck?
No, she grabbed him by the neck.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like Sam and Elaine had a rocky relationship, but it rarely escalated to the point of violence.
Toxic
and
love,
if the
man.
fights did turn violent, it was Elaine doing the physical harm to Sam.
Probably got tired of that,
Last
man.
Monday.
He got tired of that, man. He was like,
They're separated.
he was like, he had her in the car, like, you know what? Hand on the thigh. He like, you know what? Those times you used to put your hands on. Women gotta stop putting their hands on these men, bro. They start to like tweak up. I was taught my household, like, don't ever put your hands on a female. Just walk away. If you if you have to like defend yourself, like block a little bit, then you can do that. You know what I'm saying? Weave out the way, like, but you know what I'm saying? You don't ball this up right here and deck her right in the chin piece. You feel me? Like I've never been taught that in my life. But there are men out here that probably didn't care. They didn't have the same relationship with their moms like I did, and they don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? They left shoulder rocky as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Sam tried
got tired of
over
that.
and over to cut her out of his life. This only perplexed detectives and simply doesn't
he
explain
permanently
why
cut her out,
Sam's
though.
been
Alright,
acting
that
so
probably-
strangely following Elaine's
I take that back. I
disappearance.
take that one back.
2 days after these interviews, Sam would be released from the psychiatric facility. Fortunately for Sam, no new leads had come out regarding Elaine's death, meaning he could finally have some peace for the first time in the last week. Or so it would seem. Because on February 21st, the same day Sam was released, he would go to Walmart to restock on alcohol. However, right as Sam was about to get in his truck and leave, an off-duty officer spotted him and decided to ask some questions related to Elaine. Hesitantly, Sam asked to move his truck, and then he would talk to the officer. But the moment he got into his car, Sam would slam on the pedal, nearly hitting the officer, and floor his truck down the road, flying past pedestrians. The cop would jump in his car and begin chasing Sam, who would only pick up speed as he ramped up to over 100 miles per hour down the peaceful roads of Rexburg, Idaho.
Turning westbound on Steve.
High speed.
He's now eastbound on A from 28. If that deputy's in the white Tahoe, he can light it up. He's approaching him.
Sam had just successfully run from the police. And while he was having the time of his life, this chase obviously made things much worse for Sam.
No. Are you serious? I'm not a big car guy, but he just got low on the police in a Ford. That looked like a Ford to me. I don't know. I'm not a big car guy. I don't really know, but in general, he got low from the police in a truck, in a pickup truck. Yo, I done seen YNs speed down the highway with Hellcats and get caught up. He got away in a pickup truck on a regular street. Bro, come on, bro. They was not trying hard enough.
A couple hours after his escape, he would simply return back to his apartment as if nothing had ever happened. Ironically, this would actually postpone Sam's arrest, as more officers assumed he would be hiding in a more clever place and searched around the town instead of checking the Cottonwood apartments. In fact, the entire day would go by, and officers had no trace of where Sam could have gone.
But they got cameras.
But the fun would only last for a day,
Oh, there we go.
and the pressure must have gotten to
Cameras.
Sam, as the next morning, he would turn himself in to police. Sam would be charged with eluding and reckless driving, and would be placed in the Pottawatomie County Jail. However, Sam would only spend one night in the county jail after being bailed out by Emma Lee. So by the grace of a miracle, yet again, Sam Bremer was back on the streets. During this time, Sam would go to the bank and hand them a large stack of cash to deposit into his account. This wad of cash would come out to be approximately $1,200, the exact amount found in Elaine's safe that she... It couldn't be more obvious that Sam had something to do with Elaine's disappearance. The lies to detectives, the disturbing comments to Emma Lee, running from the cops, cashing in Elaine's safe money, and now shredding the only potential piece of evidence he had left. On top of all of that, detectives had looked into the claims involving Mike Brockman and discovered that Mike was at work all day at Omaha, Nebraska, nowhere near Sugar's Diner where Elaine was last seen. All of that leaves Ivan Sam Bremer as the final suspect. But with no direct evidence, all law enforcement could do is wait until new clues came their way.
911, what's the address for your emergency?
I don't really have an address. We're off the exit of Crete, Iowa, over by a public shooting area.
What's going on?
So we're driving down the road to go shooting or whatever, and there is a dead body on the side of the road.
Male or female?
It's female for sure.
On February 26th, Elaine's body was found underneath a bridge just miles away from Sam's apartment.
She probably died
the body was unrecognizable, but the clothes matched the exact outfit Elaine was wearing the day she had disappeared. Someone had killed her. Medics would pronounce Elaine dead on the scene, and she would be taken to the hospital to get an autopsy done to determine her cause of death. But her results would come back strange. Elaine had 8 blunt force impacts to her head and a fractured front tooth. Well, gruesome. None of these injuries were sufficient to cause her to die, so her cause of death would be ruled as undetermined.
What y'all think he did?
Unfortunately for police, this meant they wouldn't be able to immediately charge Sam with murder. However, with all the sufficient evidence they'd gathered throughout the course of the investigation, they had enough to charge him with abuse of a corpse. Quickly, they'd receive an arrest warrant, and for the 4th time that month, officers would arrive at Sam's apartment, this time to finally seal his fate.
Get him out of there.
Hello.
Back
Morning.
him up.
We're looking for your grandfather.
Oh,
Is he
she's
here?
not 11.
Okay, just one second.
She is a grown woman.
Sam, right? Goes by Sam. Okay. Is there anybody else in there?
No, just him. He's sleeping.
Okay. Has he got any guns or anything like that? Okay. Well, he's got a warrant, so we need to talk to him. Just let that officer in. I'll be right there.
Ivan! Step out here. Show us your hand. No.
No.
Hey.
Okay. Come here. You got a warrant for your arrest.
Meow. Now the cat.
I'll let you smoke that.
Yo, I love cats, man. I need a cat.
Oh, you can smoke it. All right. All right.
Get my shoes?
Yeah, we'll get them. Yeah. We'll get them. I'll put
What am I arrest for?
Huh?
What am I arrest for?
I'll explain here in a minute. All right.
Step second. Use of a corpse.
What the fuck?
Okay, Pot County will be able to call you in a little bit. Thank you.
Sam would eventually go to court for the murder of Elaine Gowan. Forensic pathologists would spend weeks investigating Elaine's death, and eventually they would discover zipper marks on the neck of Elaine, signifying that she was strangled to death, likely by Bremer. This pile of circumstantial evidence seemed to be enough for the jury, and on November 17th, 2023, Ivan Samuel Bremer was charged with second-degree murder, abuse of a corpse.
Jeez, bro. That's February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 9 months it took him to get arrested.
and theft. He was sentenced to 65 years in prison.
He not even gonna live that long. Yeah, they packed him up, man. Yeah, we on the road to hit 50 followers on Twitch, 100 subs on YouTube, and start to go up a little bit on TikTok. But with that being said, man, we out of here.